They figured it out. Thank goodness. I'm so passionate about this.
This is something that really connects you spiritually. Yo, welcome back to God Meets Therapy. It's your host, JP Speaks in the building, and my beautiful wife,
Dr. Ayo.
And we got a guest today. Amazing young lady. I'm going to let her introduce herself.
It's your girl, Nat Martin, the one and only Resiliency Queen.
Yo, love it, love it. So we are glad to have you today. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born, so no. I'm Nat Martin. I'm from Newark, New Jersey. Born and raised my entire life. 20-year combat disabled veteran, retired. Now, Resiliency Queen, transformation coach, and I just help people activate their superpowers. So that's me in a nutshell. And
I love that.
I got to shout out my kid. My baby boy just graduated high school.
Oh, wow. Congratulations. Big ups to mom. Big ups. So how did you get there? How did this happen? This brand, this you? I mean, where'd that come from?
Birth.
Nice. I love
Birth. It. I literally tell people I am the adult version of my inner child.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Everything about my existence is what I was as a child. Everything that I do is what I envisioned when I was a child. So the pink, the hair, everything.
So you had all the Barbies.
No, I had.
Did you have black
Barbies and G.I. Joes, and He-Man, and I had my Transformers. Yes.
Okay.
The Transformers. That
it's
was
not
dope.
just one level with you. You're
No.
multifaceted.
Yes.
Yeah, Transformers was hot back then. It was. I definitely had Voltron and
Bumblebee.
Bumblebee got hot out of nowhere. Where did he come from?
See, people sleep on Bumblebee. Y'all don't understand. Bumblebee don't talk, but he talk.
Right.
I tell people, when people see me, it's like, you don't have to speak, but you can still be loud.
That's facts.
So,
That is facts.
yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about Resiliency Queen. What does that look like?
Now, the Resiliency Queen is because I only wear a crown. So I am a queen, right?
I love that.
One of the things that I learned about me was that I thought that when life hits, that everybody get back up.
Right.
And then people started watching life hit me and they're like, oh my God, like you got back up. And I'm like, well, what do you do?
Right.
I assumed everybody get back up. So It was like, wow, okay, they not getting up, but I don't know no other way.
Right.
I was raised.
It's like you ain't got no choice.
Right. So that's where the Resiliency Queen came from. It's like my life is the epitome of bounce back. My life is the epitome of something gonna happen to Shorty, she getting back up. Sometimes it may take a little longer. Sometimes, it's like bam. But I became the Resiliency Queen. It wasn't something that I went and studied and said, I'm gonna be this. It just became who I was. And I can't stop it.
Okay. I noticed you said one thing about something, there was a moment in time when something happened and you really had to, people were looking around like you bounced back. What, if you don't mind me, what happened?
Man, everything. So to sum it up, I told you, from North New Jersey.
Right.
My mom was on drugs.
Okay.
My dad was in the streets of New York,
Okay.
raised by my grandparents. Went to Iraq. I've lost people. I was in Iraq at 19 years old.
That had to be tough.
Yes, I literally lost my mind. Literally lost about 30 to 40 members of my family. My sister was murdered. I lost my ability to walk twice. So going from natural bodybuilder to disabled, having to get back up.
Look at God.
So it's like divorced twice. Like you name it, I got it. It's
Right.
like I could just pull a Rolodex. But the difference is sometimes people pull that Rolodex and it's a Eeyore story.
Right.
Like, woe is me.
We ain't got no time for that.
We ain't got time for
We ain't
that.
got no time for that.
I'm like, whoa, why not me? At this point, I really feel invincible.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing that can stop me.
But everything's about mindset. By changing your thoughts, I mean, you could, like you said, you can sit in that area and you're just gonna sit there. You're just like dogs lie. You're just gonna sit there in that place. If not, then you can do something about it. And I love that you actually did. So it's not easy.
Do you teach other people how to build resiliency and kind of how to create bounce back for themselves if it's not something they were born with, if it's not a gift that they had, early on?
So one of the things that I tell people, it's already within you because the powers that's within, it just needs activation. So I am a superpower activator. So when people like leadership, I develop leaders. In the military, I was a recruiter supervisor.
Oh,
I would go in and get kids at the age of 15 and start to mentor and develop them. By 17 is when I joined the Air Force, and I left at 18.
Wow.
So I don't care about your age, your color, your weight, your size. I know how to activate you to shift your mindset to get to wherever you want to go. So when people say you really can help everybody, I can. It's just a matter of making sure they get through blockages.
So how do you get through some of those blockages? Like, what's a technique that you use that someone can use in their everyday life that can kind of help them get there?
First, you have to know thyself to become thyself to evolve into the future self.
Facts.
So one of the key things I tell people is knowing self. Because a lot of times people will do goal setting,
Right.
but those not your goals.
That ain't your goals. It's something you need chat GPT.
You're right.
This is me.
So,
Or look
your
around
mom.
and compare it to somebody else. Stealing
So
somebody
your
else's
mom,
goals.
you'll be good at that. Now you sitting there working for 40 years and you don't even like your job because somebody
That's
told
right.
you to be good at it.
That's right.
But it's like, well, what did you do that? So I always tell people, one of the things I tell people is go back to 7-year-old, 9-year-old self.
Right.
What was the thing that you said, I'm going to do that?
Right.
What was the thing that made you happy? That is the thing that you have to tap back into so that we can evolve into knowing what do you like.
No, I love that. It's also about finding your purpose. And that kind of goes along with your purpose because honestly, it sounds like for you put yourself on that trajectory. You had to be mentally strong and resilient to even maybe back then to get to where you are now. So, but for some people,
knowing yourself help you get through blockages? Like connect those for me.
So I tell people sometimes people parking lot pimping your head, right?
Love it.
Parking lot pimp, because when you're a child, some of our initial belief systems and our thoughts is based upon childhood. So I don't care what age people are, your insecurities speak loud because of somebody parked their vehicle in here and it got stuck. So how do we unblock that? You have to challenge it. So like for women, sometimes we'll take a picture and immediately they will crush themselves.
Right.
Like, ooh, I don't like that.
I'm fat.
Ugly,
I know.
this and
My
that,
ears,
right?
Yeah.
But where did that start? Someone called them that.
Right.
Like, oh, you too skinny. Oh, you too fat. And it's like, you have to challenge it. Am I? So is this true? Am I too skinny?
Right.
Right? So you have to, so that's one of the things is reframing. So reframing your thoughts by reframing your messaging and your vocabulary. So if it's like a statement or thought come up, reframe. Is this true? Does this bring the best out of me?
Right.
Do I believe it? Where did it come from? And they'll go to the root of it. So that's a way to kind of get to those unblockages.
Love that.
I definitely love that. Okay, so when we're all going through these stages in our lives, and we get it to a point where we can actually elevate, where we can get to a different stage. Why do some people still, act in survival mode? Survival. Like that's got it. You know what I mean? Why do you got to the place you want to be? You've got the cars, you've got the house, but you're still acting like you don't have these things.
It's because they're afraid of it being taken.
Right.
So they go into scarcity mindset. I have been around some of the wealthiest people, and what you said, I'm like, wow.
That's facts.
I'm like, they don't know themselves.
Right. Or they're living, literally looking at the way they live each and every day. It's like, you can have some help in the house. You don't have to act like this. You don't have to drink this you can drink and eat things that are a little healthier.
Yes.
I
just had a conversation. So I just did a 5-city tour, right? 5-city tour. I just got back yesterday, right? And I had to tell one of my friends, listen, I live a life of convenience.
Right.
I pay for comfort, meaning because, yes, I am a military. She's like, but you're a military girl. You could do it. I can, but why should I?
Why?
So if I need to get into that mode, we know how to activate. And yes, I can get in the mud. I can get dirty. But why? So people stay in survival mode sometimes because of themselves, and then sometimes because of their environment.
Love that.
So they'll stay there because the fear of taking a step across, of the fear of unknown, will have people go back to what they know is not good for them.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, I love that.
Some people have these expectations they've built for themselves, and it's really just you and you. You're battling yourself. Like, people have heard, I don't cook no more during the week, right? Like, I have some coming. It was the worst part of my day. Listen, but it took me so long to get there. I was like, I have to do this as a wife. I have to do this as a mom. And it's like, why?
Now
Like,
you got a whole chef at home.
Oh,
yes, but
yes.
now I
The chef is
can
dope, though.
do
The chef is
homework. I can do homework with my children. I
Right.
could be present. I could the soft life is about realizing I don't have to do it all. I can create an atmosphere.
Let's
on my
dive in
healing.
on that. I need just a second. We need a second to tell women about soft life, or the soft girl era does not mean that you're weak.
No,
It
not
does
at all.
not mean that you're like, I'm about the toughest and the roughest thing that there's walking, right? But when I say it's time to go out of survival to thriving,
You don't have
or
to.
operate in your femininity, it means that you don't have to. So cooking, I don't like cooking. I don't like being in the kitchen more than 20 minutes. If I'm in the kitchen more than 20 minutes, I feel tense, right? I have identified this is not for me, right?
Right.
At all. But when I speak that out loud to others, it's like, oh, well, who do you think you are? No, I know who I am. I know that my skill sets is utilized better in other areas.
That's right.
So if a man wants me to cook, then that means you want a peasant, and I'm not peasant. I'm queen.
But I will say, even for men,
Mm-hmm.
like, soft life is okay for men. I mean, if you
Yes,
need to get a chef, if you need to get somebody to help clean your clothes or do the laundry, like, honestly,
It's
you're
probably a
giving
different word choice. I
Yeah.
don't know what
a rough,
Because
soft
the fellas
life.
have like a comfort.
I don't know if they,
Comfort.
but people don't understand, men and women, we all have femininity and masculinity.
Right.
So
That's right.
they equate masculinity as like, "Urgh," and
Right,
it's
right.
like, no, men have to operate in their femininity as
No, that's
well.
facts.
So it's like, I want life of convenience for both man and woman,
No, that's
because
facts.
how are you going to operate in your optimum self?
And it's about, right, like you just said, it's about giving that time back to your family or to your
That's
work or to something that you enjoy doing. Sometimes you might have to pay for it, but you're paying for your peace, which is
And
the
I
plus.
don't want to say, like, some women, and even one of my friends, she's like a VP, she runs shit. She enjoys going to the grocery store, picking out her fruit, doing charcuterie boards, cooking meal. Like,
Right.
I love that for her. Like,
But she know herself.
you know, everyone's
Right. And she
peasant
probably has
mindset
those.
is
Yeah.
different. Like, peasant for me, I don't love to
No,
pick out fruit.
not. I want to make sure. Let me clear that up, because I want them coming for me. Not peasant, meaning where when we get into the dating topics and they say, I need a wife to cook and clean, and it's like, well, that you need an assistant. You can pay for that. Those are things that you can pay for versus.
Unless they can cook really well.
But I have a friend. She be making homemade ice cream. She loves that.
I
It's
need
like,
that.
why do I need to make homemade ice cream? I can just go buy it. You know, so that's what I'm saying. When you know thyself, I know that if you want me to make homemade ice cream, I'm going to be angry for the rest of the day. I don't think you want to deal with that
Right.
version of me.
But you know, I kind of what you were saying. I think elevation exposes what survival buries.
Yes.
You know, you're not under attack. You're just you're just not aligned. You're unaligned. So sometimes you have to realign your life
Yes.
to really, you know, get yourself to where you want to go.
And when that alignment happens, it's like a peace. Like, I'm in a peace state. I'm in flow
Good
state.
too.
Yeah,
Right.
It's
It
like,
feels good. It's like you
like,
lock
wow,
in.
Why didn't I get here sooner?
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And then it's like, when you start to feel that, it's like, wow, well, what else can bring me ease? Because like you said, the things that, you know, business, whatever your thing is, for me, when I retired, you want to know the thing that I always wanted to do my entire adult life?
What'd you want to do?
Take my son to school and get in the little school line. And-
Oh, I hate the line.
But get this.
I
But the
hate
line's great.
school
it
line.
may sound crazy to people, right?
Yeah.
I've been in the military since I was 18.
Yeah.
I got to be at work, dark 30.
No.
That's right.
I don't get to take my son to school, so I would have to take him to before care, which is
Yeah.
not the same.
It's not the
So
same.
when I had my hip surgery and I was like trying to get up, I'm like, oh, you missed the bus? Oh, I can take you to school. Oh, I was like, this is a thing. And then he's like, Mom, can you take me to school tomorrow? I get to do it again tomorrow. Like, during that downtime when I was resting and whatever, I look forward to just
Right.
taking him to school in the morning. And I was like, man, this is cool. I always wanted to be in the little
With the little
line.
line. Right.
And that's the whole
Carpool,
logistics. They
carpool.
got
Yeah, they definitely do.
they got
definitely do.
logistics and signals, and I mean, it's a whole flow. Yeah.
But
Don't get
sometimes
that
life-
whistle blown at you.
But sometimes life is about the small things. I mean, people want these grand gestures, and it's about these little things that can make you happy each and every day. So
Right.
you don't need the the shopping sprees. Sometimes you just need to give a little love and spend a little time with your family and your friends to make, life really make sense.
Right. And when you know what makes you, like for me, my friends hear it every day. I don't think there's a day go by that my best friend don't hear what my end goal is.
Right.
My end goal is an ocean with a coconut and a hammock.
Speak it into existence.
That's the end goal. I'm out here impacting lives so that when I say I'm done, I'm going to be at an ocean with a coconut and a hammock. I don't want I want island life, island vibes. Like that's my end goal. So until I get there, I go to the ocean once a quarter. I got to go to the ocean so I can remember what my end goal is.
But that's what a lot of people say. I'm going to wait on God, or I'm waiting for God to give me a sign. But you are actually creating a place, a thing. You're speaking into existence. You're making this thing happen. I mean, that's how that starts.
God gives signs, but people miss it.
Yeah, you definitely miss it.
People miss it.
They miss
Tell
it.
more about that. Why are they missing it?
I missed it. Like God gave me a sign when I got injured. I was about to go down a road that was about to be crazy.
Right.
I was just getting into fitness. I was a fitness competitor.
Okay.
I was doing NPC bikini competitions. When I tell you 6-pack on fleek, like it was right.
I never had one.
You ain't never had 6-pack?
Even playing football. I mean, I was in college. I was eating good though.
This is in my 20s, right? So you got 20 version that. You get that 6-pack. So I trained for 26 days. Ooh. 2-a-day workouts.
Oh my God.
Completely went into laser focus mode. I got on stage and I won.
Congratulations. Love that.
It activated something in me where I was like, ooh, okay, I did that in 26. Like, what can we do?
What can you do next?
Like, what if we do a full prep? So I went into I locked in. Now, I wanted to get sponsored. I'm supposed to be on stage, getting all these medals. That was the goal. And then all of a sudden I got my leg buckled and my knees swollen and I can't do my leg workouts. So it was like, okay, what happens? I had surgery and it was malpractice and went wrong.
Oh no.
Down for 2 weeks, went to I couldn't walk for 6 months. So I was like, wow, it just took my whole livelihood.
So I'm curious. So when that happened, when you had that surgery, did some of your old triggers show up in that new space?
Yes.
Like what were some of those things or vices or?
I shut down.
Okay.
I went to coping. My coping mechanisms was not healthy coping mechanisms. So I was drinking.
Everybody has something we got to go to that feels good.
Drinking. People,
especially at that age.
People drink or they go to substance because it's like they want to mask it. So I thought I was doing it healthy because I'm like, oh, I'm just drinking my wine at night. Nobody knows. And then I realized I got a lot of wine bottles up in here. Am I having a party? Like, who's at the party?
Right.
It's just
Was that all me? These my bottles?
And it's honestly, you didn't outgrow it. You just outran it at that time. And then it just caught back up. And that happens in life when we go through things. If we're not, honestly, if we don't have things in place for when those things happen. And now I can't see something like that happening. You know what I mean? Regardless, because you're
I don't drink anymore.
Right.
So this is the thing. It's like during those times, even so the thing is, I look at people and they'll pick a bad coping mechanism, right? And they don't know it. And at the time, I didn't know it until someone had brought it to my attention. And I was like, my friend came over and she was like, you had a party? And I kind of felt convicted, like, no, I didn't. Like, this is not good.
Right.
I have to stop this. So I was like, I'm not going to drink for 6 months. But now I don't drink at all. I'm 6 months sober.
Oh,
so
wow. Congratulations.
Sober life is a different life. My connection and walk with God is different because I realized the cheat code is people, you asked when God sends a sign.
Right.
People miss it because they want, but they don't give. Right. I had to sacrifice something to surrender to get what I want.
Wow. I love that. That. And it's all about sacrifice. You kind of have to sacrifice and let your friends go. And people may not like you for the person you are becoming. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't feel good. What do you think?
But it could be habits go. Other things you have to let go. She had to let alcohol go. I had to let being a workaholic go, and really be present. So I think it comes back to knowing yourself.
That workaholic, I actually got diagnosed with workaholic when I was in the Air Force. It put me in the hospital. People don't realize that's a real thing.
Yeah.
So you can, and I have to moments where I'm like, no, no, this is it. This is the boundary, because that's a switch that can activate, and people think the grind.
Right.
It's like, no, rest too. Like, you have to.
Yep.
It's a good balance. It's
Yeah.
definitely a good balance. I mean, because if anything, it's gonna happen. Your body's gonna feel it. Your mind's gonna feel it. You're gonna be stressed. You're gonna be acting irritable towards other people. But let me ask you this: so why does peace feel unsafe to certain people? Why do you think?
It's new. They never felt it.
It's survival mode?
Comfortable. Yeah. So it's like, there's people that if they grew up in, depending on their childhood, if it was always chaos can be normal.
Chaos feels normalized.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if it's like, this doesn't feel normal. That's why, like, sometimes when people meet a mate, having healthy friendships, having healthy relationships, it's like, they're like,
It's like, I don't like you.
yeah. And it's like,
Oh,
well,
no,
what's
yeah.
wrong? But
Like,
it's
why
like,
you so nice all the time? Stop being nice to me.
I'm one of those people where I didn't realize that I would not accept compliments.
Oh, okay.
Where a
Yeah.
man would give me a
Well, you
compliment
look
and I would,
nice.
well, thank you. But I would dismiss it.
Okay.
And I'd be like, well, and I had to challenge myself, like, wait, why are we doing that?
Right.
Like, that's not that's not okay. So when people are starting to get into peace, it start feeling like, okay, this isn't right. But
Right.
you have to fight through that so that you can have your breakthrough.
You know, I felt that same way when people give me a compliment. I always felt that they were a little shady. But honestly, they were just, so I actually had to learn the same thing of
Yeah.
how, to deal with compliments. I always get compliments, so I'm sure you don't have that issue, Aya.
I do. No,
I'm talking about
more
receiving
like
them.
that. Like, I just, like, for growing up, like, my mom was light skinned, my sister was light skinned. I didn't grow up with my father, who was dark skinned, so I had a complex. So when people called me beautiful or, oh, you look good today, like, I didn't believe it, and I just kind of, like you, thought they were just saying it.
So,
Like,
so
what do
you had
want?
that,
So-
and here I am, light skinned, but I wasn't black enough,
Right.
and still here in
See?
Atlanta, it's like, well, what are you? A human being?
Never good
What you
enough.
mean?
Right.
It's
I'm
not-
whole
that's-
human.
That's what I'm saying. So
Right.
it's not about, other people. You've got to validate yourself. You got to believe in yourself. You got to have your own security and healing to even be able to accept compliments or opportunities even. You might not be ready for something that comes your way because you're not healed enough or, have the right mindset.
And I know some of the juveniles that you've worked with in the past, they are kind of failure to thrive just because, something starts to go well, and then they just
That's
have
right.
to do something to
So they
sabotage.
self-sabotage. They self-sabotage.
They self-sabotage. Self-sabotage
they
is real.
It's rather they leave the jail and then they end up coming back over something like
That's right.
maybe because it just feels too normal. They, being
So how do we counter that? Like, my mission, when people see me traveling and stuff, like, my mission in life is not about me, right? So when I tell people I've been making global impact for a long time,
I
it's
love that.
because I think the beginning, you asked the question of, like, how did I get here? I have to be the example.
Right.
Because what we don't realize is that people are watching.
Yeah,
and
they
so I have changed people's legacies. Like, from when I was in the before I was in the military, but like
Right.
how I show up and me going through and persevering, they're looking, whether they say it or not, people are watching, men, women,
Right.
children. So it's like, if I don't show up and be what I say I'm gonna be, then they're not going to show up because they're not going
That's
to, they're going to see the peace in me
That's
to say
right.
that's okay. It's safe for me to do that.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
And I mean, honestly, like you said, people don't see it, but those small things that we do each and every day and how we impact our friends, our family, on social media, I
Right.
mean, it can definitely change the trajectory of somebody's life. So,
But
I
I
definitely
agree, if
agree.
you're not ready to receive and you're running back to chaos or running back to toxicity or just sitting, going back because peace feels strange to you, then you really have to look at what is going on. That nervous system is reacting, right? Like, just sitting around and everyone's complimenting you and you have no money problems. You're on top. We talked about before, it's that cliff of like, oh, wow, I don't even know what to do with all of this comfort and safety and security.
there's a lot of people living with dysregulated nervous systems and
Right.
have no idea.
Mhm.
Like, they're living with a whole bunch of vitamin deficiencies and have no idea
That's
that
right.
like, they're thinking something wrong with them and all you need is some sunlight.
Just a little bit. That
Right.
vitamin,
Like
vitamin,
literally,
just
like
a little
you need
bit.
to just go outside, hug a tree, and get some oxygen.
Or
like,
even just be
Oh,
grounded.
your
Take
tree.
it,
I hug
Touch
a
grass.
tree. I'm
What did I
everywhere with a
say?
tree.
but even take. I know
Touch grass.
Aya would go on walks, or she starts going in the backyard and just getting grounded, taking your shoes off and just putting your feet on the grass.
Yes.
I mean, that definitely helps so much, even with the stress and being able to just step away from the computer, or you know what I mean. Sometimes you just need that.
It not sometimes. All
definitely
the time.
need it. You
need
definitely
it.
need it.
You need it. So.
Okay, well, let's dive into this a little bit more. Sometimes when people trying to get support, it's like people really don't know how to accept it, but it's like, really, but why don't they honestly know how to accept it? It's like, or do they not have the techniques, or does it feel foreign, or do they, like, why are they self-sabotaging it?
Trauma. People don't ask for help or know how to receive help because they were taught,
Right.
probably in the early age, I asked for help and I was either dismissed or I was silenced.
Right.
So
Or you feel weak.
yeah.
honestly.
So, but then it's like they internalize that, and then they grow up to become adults to say, I'm not asking them for help,
Right.
or I'm not, and then it's like, at what point do you save yourself?
Right. And you have to. I realized in college, they kept saying, you should get help. You should get I got help with some of my classes. Oh, I was getting help all the time. I was like, I should have did this a long time ago. I'm getting straight A's now. I'm not struggling.
Yes.
It's a lot easier, but it felt like a weakness. I don't need help. I don't want to be that person. But once I did, lights turned off. I'm asking everybody for help.
Right. It changes the game. And it's like one of the things that I always saw, activations. One of the quickest ways that I taught for disabled combat veterans, again, I have PTSD.
Okay.
So asking for help, sometimes we get ego because we're always mission driven, and we
Right.
can see here. So I work with horses. So equine therapy is a modality that people can do to help.
Right.
If you're like one of those people that's like, oh, my grandmother say, pray about it, pray about it, pray about it. Yep, we praying, but we got to take action
Yeah,
too.
we got to do some action. Yeah.
But
That's
then
right.
if you're like one of those people that's a little hesitant talking to a therapist, it's like, okay, you can do different modalities to try to at least, relieve some of the stress.
Right.
Equine therapy is very important. I get a lot of work done with equine therapy because
is
I don't.
that, by the
So
way?
equine therapy is working with horses, and so
Okay.
with horses, you have to be grounded
Okay.
because the horses
They
take
can
on your
sense-
emotions.
Right.
Yes.
They can sense you. Yeah.
So if you come with anxiety and they gonna be. And again, I respect anything that outweighs me.
And that's a big animal.
Okay.
Okay.
Horses are hella big.
So when you approach, you have to ground yourself first. So
Right.
that's the first thing that helps people is like, wow, okay, I've never done that.
Right.
Ground yourself. Then when you approach, it's like you're like now you're getting in tune with your emotions so that you can interact with this horse.
Right.
And so once they interact with you, like it becomes a very serene like experience. So
Right.
I tell people, go work with horses.
So mindfulness training where you're focused on, your breathing and your techniques and being present and understanding your body and signals and,
Yep.
and it can be quick. Like,
It doesn't take long.
It doesn't take long.
Mhm.
You're just giving your body the understanding that you don't have to be in reactive mode and trauma mode, survival mode. You could be calm, you could be peaceful, and this is a normal state of mind for me every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting how your body it reacts when you know what I mean. You could be in panic mode and everything's fine, but your body is used to some sort of trauma, so it's just like it's reenacted or it just reactivates itself.
Right.
So it's like it's reframing or retraining your mind and your body in a new situation when something looks old. But
What people don't understand, everybody focuses here.
right,
So it's like you have to understand your CNS is your brain and your
Right,
nervous
right.
system, right?
right.
So if you're not regulating your nervous system and you're not actually feeding your brain, then people just living life. Like I don't understand that life. I really
Right.
don't. Like because now you're just out here, just existing, right? But what I just learned and what I just went through, your gut health
Right.
also is connected to your brain health.
right,
That's
right,
right.
So if you don't have a good gut health system by which you're fueling into your body,
That's right.
your whole life is just all messed up. But then it's like, well, what's wrong or what's happening? Let's start here. Let's
Yeah.
start with what you're putting in, what you're looking at, what you're programming your body because
Right,
anything. So I was in a hospital a month ago, 2 months ago, almost died.
Hmm.
Invincible. It's just
But God,
Huh?
Almost.
but God,
But
Oh.
God, I got salmonella poisoning.
Ooh,
Got into my bloodstream.
so that had to be painful.
Painful and in the hospital by myself. I fear no one but God.
Right.
So I'm in the hospital. Mind you, I traveled and got back, got super sick. And I was in the hospital for a week. And they're not holistic. So I was struggling. They wouldn't let me go outside. They wouldn't let me go to my tree. They wouldn't let me ground. They wasn't giving me my zinc, magnesium, potassium. They wasn't giving me any things I was asking for.
Right.
And I got to a point where I said, you know what? These people are going to take me out.
Right. It seemed like that's what your body needed because that's what it was.
No, because it.
But I think the healthcare system is still trying to catch up to holistic. I mean, we just got people to understand that mental health and behavioral health is equal to physical health. So now we're trying to talk about vitamins and deficiencies and supplements and mindfulness.
They don't count into that. So it's like
they're learning, and that's why we have to be so strong and speak up and say, no, this is what we need. This is what we're pushing the system because we're being disruptive.
But when you asked about the Resiliency Queen, just to give you a point of the strength within me.
Okay.
When I say I'm invincible, I know who my higher power is. But when I say my power within is that while I was going through that experience, I had to, one, fight whatever was trying to take over the body. But then I also had to advocate, like she said, because they were depleting my body, but they weren't refueling my body of the things it needs. So when I got out the hospital, I was weak and couldn't get off my couch for a week. So I had no caregiver.
Right.
So I had to replenish. But what I had to do was I said, wait a minute. I had to go back, mindfulness, like she said. So I was like, okay, I'm here. I got to tap back in. So I started laying in the grass outside in my backyard. Like, thank you, God, I got this yard, I got these trees, I got the grass. I had to reconnect my body to say, okay, we are going to build this back up.
That's right.
Well, Nat, everybody isn't like you. So the people who are out there and who don't have the resiliency, how do we give those people, how do we help those people have that same resiliency?
So, one, we got to be the example. I'm going to always say be the example. Be the example because we impact so many lives without knowing. So be the example. Two, we talked about my self-care techniques of just the things that you have every day. I call it the first 15. First 15 minutes of your day.
Right.
You wake up, no cell phone.
I like that.
When you wake up, I have water. I do water activations by my bed.
Yep,
That's a whole holistic thing I can tell people, but I have water. You want to also sip water. Sip water with either a lime or a lemon to activate your digestive system.
Right.
Like, because you're break fast. You want to break fast. It's not breakfast. It's not breakfast.
With the F on it.
It's not the scrambled egg omelet. You know, you're letting, you got to awaken your body.
Yeah.
Then it's like, so that first 15 minutes is vital of how you're activating yourself. So if you can get outside or if you live in an apartment, I tell them, go to the window. When I was in the hospital, I had my face to the window. I'm going to get this sun.
Right.
So you go to the window, get some sunlight. Everything is in 15-minute increments with me. Right. So it's like you can do a 15-minute ritual that's not going to disrupt your morning day. Even sometime throughout the midday, you can do a meditation. Meditation doesn't have to be.
Say that,
yeah. So it's like you can just sit still. It could be in a car. As a mom, what I used to do when I would come home, and I still do this, and my kids graduated, I sit in the car for a second, and my friend like, what are you doing in the car? I'm decompressing from the day.
I do that too.
Right.
You kind of have to. Where it's quiet, you got a place. I usually call it the closet, so I'm usually in the closet. That's actually the first thing I'm doing. I'm hopping in the closet the first part of my day, just to meditate, just to spend my time with God. And honestly, usually when I do that, my days go great because you kind of have to start fresh, start new.
But you got to do it throughout the day. Yeah, so it's like if you living in a life of chaos, or you're like, my life is just kind of hectic, right? Because you said everybody's not like me. Sorry, my stomach growled. Everybody's not like me, right? So if life is not looking the way you want it to look, then you have to do these activations probably 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Where you have to put on a playlist. All right, 10 minutes. I change the music in my car. Now I still get with, my songs every once in a while, but I need
trap music.
Every once in a while. you gotta. But but for the majority, I realize some songs come on and I'm like, ooh,
I don't need this.
I start feeling heavy and I'm
Right.
like,
Yes.
ooh, I used to like that. Ooh, I don't know about this
Yeah.
one.
But people got to be cognizant
Yeah.
to notice that and see what music or how their days pulling at them. Because like you said,
Yeah.
sometimes you just have to take that 5 minutes, and it's so important because you can come back a better person, even with your kids. Like I realize with our kids, sometimes I get fussy and I'm like, you know what? Let me just take my 5 minutes so I can come back and be a better person. Because
And then
if
you
not, you're
save
gonna
the
hurt other
life.
person. Right.
You saved their
Right.
life.
Right.
They don't even know it.
Right.
That's right.
You know the
But I
kids
love that
don't. You know they
idea
don't
of
listen.
watch what you put in your body, into your
Mhm.
mind, your spirit, like what you're ingesting and what you're putting yourself
Yes.
around you. I love the idea about being mindful about that.
Yes.
And honestly, like you're saying, like what you're putting in your body, like what you're eating. I mean, you can feel sluggish, you can feel sleepy, you could. I mean, things can revive you, can open your mind up to think better. I mean,
And the signs. I'm
Right.
gonna go back because when you said that, I want people to understand so they know how to watch the signs. Me getting sick,
right,
I'm not, oh my God. I didn't tell that story to say, oh my God, that was so sad. That girl
Right.
survived that. No. God had to redirect me and say, hold on, wait a minute.
right,
You're doing too much again. I need you to.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, wait a minute. I'm actually in the middle of a transition. I've been in a transition for a while, but because I don't want to pay attention to
I
the
love
signs, I was rejecting it. I was my own enemy where I don't know if I'm becoming a vegan, vegetarian. I don't know what it is.
right.
But I've always been particular to eat from my body.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, the body's going through something. What is the lesson in this? So when you guys are like, how do I know the signs? Sitting still and meditating gives you the opportunity to sit there and realize, wait a minute, what am I learning from this?
What does God teach me, or what am I
What-
learning? Right, and that's
Yeah.
the thing is people will overlook that because they're so busy in the moment or feeling
Yes.
sorry for themselves. But I love
Or
that. So,
distracting themselves with phones or social media or work or anything else.
Because it could be a Band-Aid. People put Band-Aids on stuff all the time.
Right.
But
That's right.
guess what? You take that Band-Aid off, that thing going to be infected if you don't
Flowing.
treat it.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes for some people they need a Band-Aid, but if you're gonna use one, use it for a short time. I mean, you might need that for your mental health, but I would like to say go out, exercise or fill out what you need to do to help you in those times. I mean,
When you said for the mental health, so it's Mental Health Awareness Month, right?
right.
So for Mental Health Awareness Month, I have a thing that I do called Moving Mental Mountains.
Okay.
So on every Monday in the month of May, I hike and I take people into nature with me. So because I was on a 5-city tour this month, I literally went into nature every city that I went to. So like this Monday, we not only going to be honoring mental health, but we're going to be honoring Memorial Day to honor those that came before us. Moving mental mountains is about activating your physical health so that you can help your mental health. So it's
Okay.
like if you go and so I'm going to take people to Stone Mountain.
Okay.
It's not about the physical activity. It's really about you challenge yourself mentally.
Yeah.
Like one girl was like, well, I don't know if I could do
Can't
that.
do it.
You can with me because like the Superpower activator's here. So it's like, okay, she didn't think she can do it, but when she came, I got her to the top of the mountain. But then when I got her to the top of the mountain, you know what she did?
What'd she do?
She went live and started coaching people. I said, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Like, how you become a coach? But because I knew,
Teach one.
I knew that what the activation was going to happen. She
Right.
got up there and she felt like, wow,
She felt alive.
I did this.
She got a high.
And she had some health challenges, and she's like, I did this. I said, now when you go through life, you remember this moment, the feeling, and now anything that challenged you, you did this, you can do that.
No, I love that.
So.
I love it. We are gonna drop the mic on that one because that was amazing, Nat. And
You got
do you
this.
have
Superhero activation. I love it.
do you have anything that you want them to drop in the comments?
Oh, yeah. Just so drop in the comments how you could be activated. What do you need? What's your superpower that needs to be activated and what brings you resilience? I love it.
Well, Nat, thank you so much for coming. I appreciated you.
Where can our audience find you?
I am on all social media platforms. It's I am Nat Martin. So you can find me everywhere. My website is iamnatmartin.com. So
There we go.
that's how you can find me.
See you guys
All right.
next time. We out of here.
Thanks for having me.